everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome back to OrgelCraft Season 2. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Hope that you enjoyed that opening little sequence. I wanted to do something a little bit different to start things off today, so I hope that you guys enjoyed that as we kind of made our journey out here to what is the location of where we are going to be working primarily for Season 2. I've got some other things planned that will be taking us to other parts of the world, but this is where we are going to be doing the bulk of our work. Now, if you've watched my live streams, you already know what we're doing because I gave it away, but if you haven't, dun, da, 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 we are going to be recreating the Kingdom of Arendelle here in our OrgelCraft world. If you follow my main channel, you know that I am a huge fan of Frozen, and so I have always wanted to be able to live in that world and experience that world, and I figure the closest thing that we can get to that is building it ourselves in Minecraft. And I know other people have built the Arendelle Castle, have kind of recreated that world, but this is something that I want to do on my own, so this is something we're going to be working out entirely on our own over the course of this season, and I have no idea how long it is going to take to do. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not quite sure where to begin. It's one thing to start a large-scale project. It's another thing entirely to bring an entire world to life. And the live stream I did a couple of weeks ago, we were kind of exploring different places on this seed that would hopefully limit the amount of terraforming that I would have to do. And we're still going to have to do a decent amount, but Arendelle is built on a fjord, so it's surrounded by mountains on three sides and has a fairly big body of water and a harbor. So, so we have a lot of building to do, and there's definitely areas like this over here is going to need to be kind of filled in with mountains and things, and so there's just a lot that needs to be done. This is as close as I could get to the Arendelle flag for a Minecraft banner. So that's what we're going with. That's kind of our symbol for this season. So I hope you guys are excited for it. I know that I am really excited to get started on doing this. As I said at the end of Season 1, I said, guys, I want a castle, which was actually meant to throw you off because that's actually a quote from Tangled. And we are going to be building a castle, but we are going to be building not one, but two castles, because you can't build the Arendelle Castle without also building Elsa's Ice Castle. And I have some really cool plans for that, and we'll get into that a little bit later in this episode. So, to start things off, first I'm going to show you a couple of images here from the movies and the shorts of the castle and the kingdom. So just you can get an idea of, the style that we're working with. It's this, Norwegian, Nordic style for the castle, for the village itself. And so I'm really kind of excited. I really love this style of architecture, so I'm excited to get into that. So what we need to do before we can start building, before we can start terraforming, is we need to be able to set up a rough layout for how big things are going to be. And I brought along a whole bunch of resources that we are going to use here as far as this project goes. And I also know I don't have anywhere near enough resources for all of this, but I have enough to get us started, start planning out some different areas and just kind of getting a rough shape for things. So that's what we're going to be starting on in this episode, and I'm so glad that I brought torches because this is a dark area over here. This is going to be base camp for right now. Yeah, but then I've got somewhere in here, I have a whole bunch of wool, and we're going to use this to kind of mark out some different areas. So let's get started. And the first thing that I want to do is just kind of overlay this area with a map of what the kingdom looks like. So let's start there. So before we can really get anything started in building this world, is we kind of need to get an idea of where things need to go and try to get a rough idea for scale. This has been the most difficult problem I have had in preparing for this, is trying to figure out what the scale of this needs to be. And it's really hard because there aren't a lot of great reference materials for this. But what I have found, there's an image in the Art of Frozen 2 book, which kind of shows the outlay of the actual town of Arendelle. And I thought this would be a good way to kind of try to get an idea for how big the town is and everything that needs to be included in it. So I'm going to put this image on screen. And this will kind of give us a little bit of an idea of, where we need to build and the size that we need to do. So we kind of need to try to get an idea of where this town is going to go. And so, as you can see, we kind of have, we have the town, but we have like the greater area of the town, and then we have the bridge out to the castle itself. So I'm trying to find a good vantage point that'll give us a good idea. And we have the town, we have the harbor, and I feel like it fits in this area pretty well. Like if we kind of maneuver things around to about here, and let's see, I'm going to see if I can line this up. And again, it's tough working from something like this, to know exactly what that scale needs to be. Because I don't want to get too far away, because then our scale is not big enough. So we might actually need to come out a decent ways farther to be able to get all of that. And this is something that we're going to kind of have to, adjust as we go. This might actually be a pretty good level right here. I'm not sure, if maybe we want to go out a little bit farther, and take all of the end of this, for the harbor there, is a possibility. And I'm not quite sure how big that bridge should be, although this actually seems like it might be pretty good if we actually extend the harbor all the way. So there's going to be some, there will be some adjustments that have to be made as we go along. But I think this looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump in and actually use some of the wool that we have to make a few markers and see what we can come up with here. As I was looking back over that last clip, I started thinking about, this area down here and needing to make some adjustments. And as I was kind of like looking at it and studying that map, I think that we actually want to kind of cut the end of this land off over here, because it looks like the town is kind of squared off on the end of that. So I think what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and let's just make a little bit of a line in blue along here, because this is going to be an area that we are going to we're gonna cut out, and and then we'll work from there. So I think let's go ahead and do that for right now. There we go. Okay. So then, I want to mark out kind of the edge of the docks. I already had brown wool on my hotbar. Here we go, if I can get up in the air. So initially I was thinking that we would kind of bring this harbor all the way over here. And we're gonna have to adjust kind of the edge of this, and this is also way too high, so we're gonna have to level all of this. I'm just not gonna think about the size of the terraforming project that this is going to be, but let's go ahead and do a little bit of an outline here. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of, you know, rough out like outlines for a couple of houses. Let's see, and I don't know how far over we want to go. Let's go ahead and fly up here. Let's maybe come to like here. If I can find that line, I think it was right here. And then we'll go over from, no, not there. There. And there. And there. There we go. And then we basically bring this all the way out to the water from here. I don't think we need to do all of this. But this'll give us a nice a good idea. I think it's right in line with this tree. Of, you know, of kind of the scope of where we want to build. So, we'll start with that. Okay, so how does that look from the air? It doesn't look very big at all. And obviously, you know, the town of Arendelle is not huge, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we have enough room for all of it. So let me check a couple of things, and let's see if this is going to if I think this is going to be big enough or not. So after doing some rough calculations and trying to figure some things out, I have come up with a couple of possibilities. So as I was looking at some of the buildings, I was just kind of trying to figure out, you know, how big they would be, you know, in reference to Minecraft. And the first thing that I came up with was essentially going like a 5-block width for some of the buildings. So when we do that, the main courtyard that is in there would be roughly 40 by 70 blocks, and that is this gray outline here. And so, you know, if you kind of fly up in the air, you know, you kind of get a feel for that. And I feel like this seems like a pretty good area. So then if you're going to calculate the rest of the town from there, based on that, we go another 100 blocks north over here, and that's this red line. So that would bring you all the way out to here. And this is just like the actual like village itself. This doesn't include like the surrounding countryside. Then going this way, it's 240 blocks. So as you can see, it comes all the way out here, even into the ocean. Now that seems a little extreme to me. Like I feel like the size of the square is good. I feel like the actual size of the village is huge when we kind of expand upon this. So looking at that, I went back and I was like, okay, well, what if we say the buildings are 3 wide? So then that brings our square to 24 by 42, and that's represented by the white here. And then the larger area of the village would be represented by the purple, which would be 60 by 144. So you can kind of get a feel for that there. And then coming out here to the east, you can see it doesn't go out nearly as far. I'm not really sure what the best way to go is. And so I'd kind of like your feedback, really, before we go any farther on this, because this scale is what's going to determine the rest of what we do. It determines how long the bridge is going to have to be. It, you know, and then it will determine the size of the castle courtyard. So I think this is where we're going to leave this off for right now. And yeah, and we'll just kind of need to figure. I think this will need to be adjusted if we do go with the smaller size. I don't know, and I need to do some terraforming, and so that may be something that we do, you know, between episodes or at the start of the next episode, you know, to try to kind of get a better feel, because like I said, this just feels too small. You know, and I don't know, maybe this is too big. You know, if we actually like flatten this area out and, you know, kind of, you know, rough out, not actually building any structures, you know, but just kind of getting an idea for scale of the area. Maybe it's too big, you know, and maybe we need to go in between. Maybe we need to go, you know, 4 blocks, you know, per house for the square, but then not actually build them. You know, 4 blocks, because I'd prefer to build in odd numbers to do houses like that. So, yeah, we'll see. I learned a little trick, is that you can't go to bed until, I believe, until the sun hits the horizon. Nope, apparently not. There's a certain block level, but it must not be water level. So, yeah. So, I think that's where we're going to get it off. I apologize if you thought we were doing any building in this episode. This is really kind of laying the groundwork, and as you can see, there's a lot that needs to be done in the interim. But there's a couple other things that I want to do in this video, and as I said earlier, I said I actually want to build 2 castles, and of course you can't build the World of Frozen without building Elsa's Ice Palace. And I really would like to be able to make use of the Nether. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a portal here. And this is far enough away that this is ungenerated Nether. So we're actually going to be able to be in the new part of the Nether. And we're not going to do a ton of exploring in this episode. But I thought we would step through and show you what is on the other side. So let's go and let's check out the 116 Nether. Huh. Okay, so I thought this was going to be a Soul Sand Valley. Interesting. What happens if we go over here? Oh, there's a basalt delta here. Huh. Okay, so when I was scouting areas for this, I specifically wanted to check the Nether, because I had something very specific in mind that I wanted to do. Ironically, I wanted a basalt delta, but my second option was a Soul Sand Valley. And so we came through, and we were actually in a Soul Sand Valley, which we must have entered somewhere, because, yeah, because we just got the advancement for going into all of the different biomes, but I didn't see a Soul Sand Valley. Did you? We're in Nether Wastes here. I didn't see a Soul Sand Valley anywhere. I saw our Basalt Delta, but I never saw anything other than Nether Wastes over here. I've also run out of rockets. I also don't have any gold on. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Alright, this is going to be a challenge to survive this. Do I have an ender chest on me? No, the only ender chest I left back in Arendelle. Okay, thank goodness, the portal is right there. Well, this works to my advantage. Alright, let's go back through and grab some more rockets, and then we'll do a little bit more exploring here. The whole reason that I wanted a basalt delta was for the particle effects, because I realized that the particle effects that you're getting are ash. However, I think under the right circumstances, especially with the fact that the color of the nether changes in a basalt delta to kind of that grayish color, I thought that if you did a lot of terraforming, you could actually turn it into something that doesn't look like ash, but in fact looks like snow. And so the thought that I had was we could completely, I don't know if I can get up there, we could completely terraform an area of the nether, and then we can actually build, oh, you know what? I bet this is the Soul Sand Valley. There it is. Yep. The Soul Sand Valley intersects right here. But I'm glad that the Basalt Delta is here, because I thought that we could actually transform part of the nether into an area. And I realize how backwards this is going to seem, but we could actually build the Ice Palace in the nether. So that is what I have in mind for the other castle. So this is really cool. We are going to explore the nether a little bit more in depth in some other episodes. But I thought we would just step through and take a look at that. So I feel like the nether actually generated a little bit different. I'm not sure how that's possible, because it's the same seed, but anyway. We will also be setting up a rooftop portal and probably a piston bolt at some point, so that we can quickly travel back and forth when we need to get resources from our base. So there's one more thing that I want to show you before we end today, and it has to do with texture pack. I'm trying to see somewhere in here. Ah, here we go. So let me set something up real quick, and then I will bring you guys back and show you what we are doing as far as a texture pack goes for this season. One of the things that is extremely prevalent in Norwegian style, I wouldn't necessarily call it architecture, but it's something that is everywhere in design, from fabric to wallpaper to painting, and that is the style of rosemalling. And it's essentially this design style where you have patterns that are repeated, and there are certain color palettes that are used. Some colors are more prevalent than others. But it's something that's everywhere. If you watch Frozen, you look at the castle. All of the walls in the castle are done in this way. If you look at the clothes, you'll see it. It's very prevalent. And it's something that I felt like to do this season properly, we really needed some way to do that, and there's nothing in Minecraft that really even comes close to it. And so as I was thinking about what I wanted to do this season, I was thinking, the way to do it would really be to come up with a texture pack, which I guess they're technically called resource packs now, but I think of it as textures, so I'll probably keep calling it that. But to come up with a texture pack that, would use a block in game that I really don't use, other than maybe like an accent here and there. And that's the glazed terracotta, and I think a lot of people are probably in agreement that, these blocks in large quantities really don't do much. You look at them here, they're very bright, they're very garish, and they have certain nice effects. I've used them in other places in this world, but when you look at them, they really kind of stand out. And so this is something that I was never really going to use much in terms of building as far as my style goes. So I thought that what I would do is I would retexture all of the glazed terracotta blocks. Now, you notice as you're looking at all of these, there are also birch trapdoors along here. So one of the other things that I found, as I was studying this style and, all of that, is there is one of the things that's very prevalent in the castle are these, white wooden panels, or I think they're called chair rails. There might be another name for them. I'm not sure. But they are everywhere, and there's nothing in Minecraft that really does a good job of doing that. So I have spent a lot of time retexturing all 16 colors based on designs from the movie, based on just other rose milling patterns that I have found, and I have come up with a resource pack. So here is our OrgelCraft Season 2 resource pack. And this is what we have. So we'll go up and take a closer little look at them here. So most of the backgrounds are actually based on the terracotta. So like the pink and the red and all of that. Some of them are not. But this is our pink. This is our red. The orange, this pattern was really detailed, and as I was kind of looking at it, I was like, it doesn't look great on its own. If we break a couple of these out here, you see, it gets really, really busy, and so I thought it would be kind of nice to have it like as an accent with orange, and it's not one that we're necessarily going to use a lot, but I thought it was something nice to have. So then this is our yellow. This is, I believe this is lime. Yeah, so this is the lime. This is the green. This is our light blue. We had to have a couple of snowflake patterns in there, obviously. So there's our light blue. This is our blue. And then you can also, I haven't pointed out, but you can also see the birch trapdoor texture changed a little bit there. I based it actually off of the birch logs. So then as we come around to the back, we have, this is cyan. I don't remember. This is magenta. This is purple. This is actually brown. Brown's not a color that gets used a lot in rose milling. No, it's not in anything that I found. And this particular pattern was actually used a lot. As I was watching different scenes from the movie, I'm like, this is like in all the hallways, and I had gone through like all the others, and I hadn't come up with this design. I'm like, I gotta have this design in here somewhere. So I went with brown for that. This is black. This is I fell off. Let's fix that here. There we go. Okay. This is actually dark gray, but I had a couple of nice black patterns and different color palettes, so I wanted to use both of them. And so I just based it off the black and did that. This is our light gray. And then the last is the white, and this kind of has a little bit of a flower pattern to it. So that's what we're going to be using for interior walls and things like that. And I'm going to try to use all of them. Went to all the work, so we'll find a good place for them. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of these. Yeah, and any other thoughts that you have? I hope you guys are excited for Season 2. I know I am. I'm really looking forward to getting into this. This episode has been very hard to make because just, trying to figure out scale for things, and things like that when there's nothing to reference is definitely a challenge. So, but I'm really looking forward to getting into things and getting things going. Let's talk very, very briefly about what what videos are going to look like. So I'm going to keep doing the videos Monday nights as I've been doing them, but my hope is actually to be able to do 2 episodes a week. And so like the Monday videos will be what you're used to, with lots of different clips, editing and all that, time lapses and things of that sort. But then the second episode a week is going to be something that I can hopefully kind of do like, kind of like mostly in one take. Something where, maybe we go exploring in the Nether. Maybe we build a house in the village and we do the whole build on camera. Things like that. Things that are a little bit easier to put together. And then we will save larger projects for the main video of the week. So that's kind of the plan. That's what I'm hoping to do, and we'll just kind of have to see how that goes as the season progresses, and as I go, get my school job picking back up. We will just kind of have to see how it goes. But I think that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media. All those links are down in the description, and I hope to see you Wednesday nights for our live streams, 9:30 Eastern. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.